So I'm going to tell you 3 things that will help you in your business, more specifically, help you close more deals in your wholesaling business. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Graylan Stewart. I run a virtual wholesaling company. We wholesale all throughout the United States. In today's video, I'm going to actually go through 3 ways on how I can help you close more deals. It's pretty common sense things, but it's very important at the same time, okay? So let's just go ahead and get into it. The first one, obviously, is who are you talking to, okay? So who are you talking to? It's as simple as that. Are you talking to the right people? Obviously, when we do marketing, no matter what type of marketing you choose, you're going to bring in leads, okay? Now those leads are not always good. So you definitely have to weed them out. You probably saw my other video about we're in the weed business, because I believe that's 100% true. You're bringing in tons of leads through wholesaling, through all your marketing channels, but you got to weed those people out. If you waste your time on the wrong people, then you're just spinning your wheels and getting nowhere. And really, that could probably mess with your mind more than anything, because it's deflating and defeating. When you're just talking to the wrong people. So you always got to make sure you're talking to the right people. So how do we know who to talk to? There's a couple ways. Obviously, there's got to be motivation. Most likely, you're hitting the lists that are motivated people, but not necessarily, because if you're just hitting a high equity list, then obviously there's probably no motivation on most of those, even though that is probably the best list still. But not just motivation, they have to want to sell, okay? They can need to sell all day, which I've talked about in other videos, but if they don't want to sell, then you're not going to get anywhere, okay? So I'm not saying just throw those leads away, but don't spend all your time working on those people. Put them on a drip campaign and set it and forget it for now, and come back to those maybe potentially later, because you do want to be top of mind. So keep sending them drip campaigns. What I mean by that is automatic email, texting, or RVMs and things like that. Maybe even have a cold caller just go through some of your older leads sometimes. But so that's the first thing, is just make sure you're talking to the right people, okay? All right, number 2, what are you saying to the people that you are talking to, okay? So now that you've narrowed it down, you weeded out all the ones that aren't really going to sell or don't necessarily want to sell. So now you've got the leads that are willing to get, they want an offer, but not only that, they actually want to sell, and they do have some distress behind that, in whatever shape or form that looks like for that particular seller. So it's what are you saying now, okay? It's not, you've probably heard it before, it's not really what you say, it's kind of how you say it, or you've also heard it the other way probably. It's not really how you say it, it's what you say. So kind of both are true. You just have to have the right things. If you have a script, great, follow that script. Just try not to be robotic. Really, a script is a guideline. So if you have a script, it's just really a list of things that you kind of want to touch on. And really, at the end of the day, you're doing about 20% of the talking and 80% listening, because you want your seller talking. That's really what it comes down to. It's not even necessarily that you're saying a lot. You're just asking questions, prompting them for them to talk more, okay? So it's what are you saying? Yes, you have to actually have the right questions. Of course, you always want to find their motivation. Why are you selling? Or what situation they might be in? How can we help them solve that problem, okay? You definitely want to know their timeline, because if, I don't need to sell for another 6 months, then they're probably not that motivated. But if you get timeline like, I need to get out of here in 2 weeks because I'm moving to Houston or wherever, and we got to get this thing sold. So timeline is a big indicator. The condition of the house, if it's a crazy, terrible hoarder house or whatever it is, a lot of repairs, then that's super important. That's talking to the right kind of person. And then you want to try to pull a price out of them if you can. I know sometimes that's difficult, but we do our best to disqualify people all day long. Like I've done in another video recently, is get as many no's as you can. Because once you get those no's, you're weeding those out, moving on to the potential yeses, okay? So they do turn into yeses. So what you say is those 4 things I just went over, but also how you say it. You got to say it in a way that you actually care and you're really listening and you really have a solution to their problem, because they have to trust you and like you before they actually want to sell the house to you. So if you can accomplish that, then you're on the right path. And then not only is it number 2 what you're saying, but number 3 is how often are you saying it. This comes back to other videos as well. Follow-up is key, okay? So sure, you might have said all the right things and asked all the right questions, but they're not ready right now. Did you continue following up with them a few days later, or a week later, or 2 weeks later, or a month later? I mean, we've done deals that we've nurtured and just had on drip campaigns and personal calls and texts for over a year before we get the deal. Because just remember, people might be motivated, and yes, they might want to sell, and they do want an offer, but their timeline, they're not in a hurry. It's not that detrimental. It's not like they're losing their house to a tax sale in every case. So you have to be top of mind, and the way you do that is constant follow-up. Even if you do, like even the people that we have on our nurture campaigns is what we call them. It's just a drip campaign that it's a mix of emails, text messages, and voicemail drops that happen every several days or so. Usually every 3 to 4 days, they're getting some kind of information from us, whether it's a voicemail or a text message or an email. Sometimes we even do yellow letters if it's super hot, motivated type of a lead. But we have to be top of mind, because remember, you're not the only wholesaler out there after these same leads. There's a ton of us out there. Everybody's out there. Every single market is saturated. Trust me. I'm in a lot of them. That's not an excuse. We need to find solutions, not excuses. So the solution is follow up. That's it. If you can follow up more than a few times, like 10 to 15 times even, then you're already ahead of probably 90% of the other people out there trying to do wholesaling. That's just the way it is in all sales. Most follow up is only done 2 or 3 times, and then they quit. And that's just not a reality of how you get deals. I've learned over years and years of being in the sales business that it takes 12 to 15 touches before you actually can get a sale. So wholesaling is no different. This is a sales business. So you have to follow up constantly, all the time, often, in different ways, different approaches, different times a day. You don't want to send a text every single day at noon, or every time you try to text it's at noon and they didn't reply. Try texting at 5, try texting at 7 at night. You got to change it up. Different times of the day, different messages, different ways to communicate. Texting, RVM, cold call, email, direct mail letter, Facebook message. However you can reach these people, you just got to think about, you have a $10,000 payday coming if you can actually reach these people and get a deal with them. And that's just the way this game is. Sales is sales. Follow-up is everything in sales. And if you really think about it, every business is sales, because without sales, there wouldn't be business. But you got to do marketing to bring those sales in. And if you're doing all the marketing, spending the money on the marketing to bring in the sales, and you don't do the follow-up, then it's like, why did you do all this marketing and spend all this money if you're not even going to actually work the leads more than 2 or 3 times? Work that lead until they tell you no, period. Forever. Like, we'll keep people on our drip campaigns forever and ever till they either flat out cuss us out and say, I'll never sell to you, or until we get the deal. That's it. We're relentless. We do it all the time. So that is number 3. How often are you saying it? So number 1, just to recap, okay, 3 ways that'll help you get to the next level and help you close more deals. And number 1 is, who are you talking to? Make sure you weed out the tire kickers, weed out the people that aren't doing business with you today, and focus on the ones that are ready to go, okay? Number 2 is, what are you saying and how are you saying it? Make sure you have the right message. Get all the key, the 4 things that I talked about earlier in this video. And then number 3 is how often are you saying it? I've said this many videos and many times over, and I'll probably keep saying it in the future because follow-up is everything. So if you can do that, then you're going to be successful, okay? So hopefully this was beneficial. I hope you got value out of it. Please hit the like button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, especially if you've watched it this long. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. We upload pretty much every day, so hit the bell so that you see our new videos. We love the support and we appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.